And when there's Hove, my man. Speech.
Man, shout out to, it's gonna sound so great. Yo, shout out to Encanto, bro. That was like a really good movie, man.
I still haven't seen it yet, guys.
Bro, they talking about Bruno. He won an award. It like honestly was a good movie because it like really makes you kind of like find the value in just like being a regular person and being happy with who you are. So shout out to that, man. I always like
family trauma.
Yeah, and that generational stuff. Yeah. Yo, shout out to a nice Disney movie that can like make you think because like no matter how old I get, I still love Disney movies.
So Disney movies are
hitting, bro. Yeah, they
still
make you think.
To the soundtrack at least once a day.
Yeah, bro. Definitely, yeah. So just shout out to that because I love movies that just like even the kid movies, like movies that can like make you kind of think and reflect on different things and make you feel good. So, and usually it ends up being kids movies that make you feel good. A lot of grown up movies are sad. So yeah, shout out to those movies. Make me happy. So shout out to Encanto.
Those movies are pretty sad too. But
yeah, you usually start off with death. I forgot about that part. My bad. Yeah,
there's gotta be studies on how
Lion King, Finding Nemo.
They start off pretty tragic. Up
is really sad actually.
Toy Story is kind of sad.
Coco.
Actually, Toy Story is not sad. The third Toy Story was sad.
I watched Coco strictly because I don't like being sad, and I heard everybody say it was
no, Coco was good.
It was a beautiful movie.
I like Moana too.
Sad.
Moana was up there.
Moana was good.
Sad as well. There you go. Dang, man, Wally.
Wally?
Yeah, I actually don't remember Wally.
I gotta rewatch it. People talk about how good it is. I don't like movies without
I
Wally.
like his last album. It was really good.
Well, we got all the rim shots today. I tell you
this
what,
nigga a deal, please.
Boy,
This nigga a deal.
this nigga Eric gonna start doing a smooth 15 at the DC Comedy Club.
At the Improv.
Hey man, listen, I have a history of stand-up comedy. It's pretty good. So,
Let's do a set at the Improv. A Hentation set at the Improv.
Boy, 4-man setting it, nigga.
Fuck it. We'll get like $10
each. Man. We ain't getting paid for it.
Yeah.
We won't get
this. I think this is gonna be my deal. Alright, you guys can go shoot up in the back or whatever, some shit. You can play me in. You know, like
you can just basically say we all gonna be Johnny. We just gonna go ahead and play him in. Okay.
Wow.
All right, do your toast then. Playboy, you wanna be played in? This is your moment.
But that nigga on the spot.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna give my toast to DeMar DeRozan, who's a basketball player for the Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan, for most of the career, he played for Toronto. Last couple years, he played for San Antonio. He played for Chicago. But anyway, he's just having a really great season. But the main reason I want to give him a toast, I just like his story. He's been very outspoken about mental health and anxiety. And he's another one of those people, one of those players who I feel like has, experienced. I say some players are like become memes after a while, like where it's just like, oh, you never win, so like everybody just assumes that you're a bad player and they make jokes about you, and people, and I feel like especially on Twitter and Instagram, people just don't look at people as human beings, and I've been guilty of it in the past, but like since he plays for my favorite team, you get to see him as a human. You get to hear more of his story and just all the things he's gone through in the last couple years. Like he was really close with Kobe Bryant, so his death really affected him. But more importantly, he lost his dad in the last couple years, and his dad was sick, and he would play a game in San Antonio and go to California to see his dad. And so he's been going through a lot, and it's good to see him. He's in the MVP conversation. He's probably going to be first team. We're going to be all NBA team, and it's just good to see people overcome stuff like that, especially athletes, because we always put athletes on a pedestal. Call back to the last episode, but like I said, they're human beings too, and they suffer through things. You might think a basketball player who's made millions of dollars and had tons and tons of success dating back to when he was playing middle school, high school. Like they can still suffer from anxiety and their life being uprooted. He was with the Toronto Raptors, and then he was just traded to the San Antonio Spurs, and then Toronto goes and wins a championship after years of him trying, and the mental toll that takes. And then your mentor Kobe Bryant died. He was cool. Nipsey Hussle passed away. His dad died. Just a lot of stuff like that. It was like a short period of time. Like celebrities are human beings.
Yeah.
And
he's also overcome meme culture, just like you said, where people talk about him being a loser or talked about his game not being good for the modern NBA, and he's overcome all that and made a lot of people look wrong and really a lot. I mean, he's held himself up high and brought a lot of respect back to himself as a player among casual fans. But yeah, shout out to people who are able to overcome those hurdles. Definitely, Mamba mentality right there.
I couldn't imagine that. Honestly, you can just imagine we can post something on Twitter or not even Twitter. you go to work, you have a bad day at work, and literally no one cares. People
No
are
one
job.
knows.
You're like an athlete, and like you just you're not bad. DeMar DeRozan's always been a good player, but like you're not great. You're not LeBron. You're not Giannis. Whatever. Oh, he's trash. And you just have that all the
The bar is so high.
Like you can't even leave the comments on when you post stuff online because people are gonna sit there and troll you.
I also don't get paid millions of dollars.
Right. The millions help, but they
Man,
still be
if
sad.
I got paid $1 million to do my fucking
Man said I'd be quiet. I wouldn't have social media.
Let's be serious.
Okay.
My toast is gonna be to Sleepy Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden gets enough credit.
You just called him Sleepy Joe.
That was a joke. Anyway, I don't think he gets
Still
enough credit.
attention there.
Hmm?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, we gonna go on slapbox at this one. I mean, if you guys, I don't know if you guys seen the recent jobs report. I mean, we're almost at our lowest, unemployment rate. He's appointed the most judges and 41 judges in the last in his current term. He just released he fulfilled his immigration stance that he had when he was going into office by releasing that old Trump bill or whatever I guess stance he had on it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm just looking at just the things that he's done. I know his approval ratings aren't exactly the best.
Yeah, totally.
But I just don't understand that. You know what I mean? I think the
country's
I'm about to say the country as itself. I think the approval ratings show that the country is more divided than ever, and we don't know what good stuff is if it slapped us in the face. But that is again my toast is going to be to Joe Biden. I mean, a lot of great things happened. It wasn't dealt a great hand in the way that we have navigated through COVID. Again, it's not over. We don't know what's going to hold in the future, but my salute to him and the process that he's been able to put together right now.
Yeah, fair. So that's 2 years left. You can change things around, maybe.
One more time.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
We'll see. I want to give my toast to an author and journalist named Ta-Nehisi Coates. He wrote the book called Between the World and Me. And the reason I'm shouting him out is because that book, I recently got it as an audiobook. I do. That's how I retain it the best, and I especially love it. He narrated the book himself, or he voiced the audiobook himself. So I always love when the author actually voices their book. But it's really just a great story. It's formatted as a letter to his young black son. It's about being a black man in today's America and how him growing up in the 80s and 90s kind of compares in the similarities to his young son who grew up, and he's kind of reflecting on his son experiencing Trayvon Martin, his son experiencing Mike Brown, and all the people that we lost. So it's a letter to his son, but it's also a letter to a lot of young black men, and even Toni Morrison, who's another revered author. Like she said, it's kind of a must read for a lot of black people because it really puts in perspective kind of the balancing act that we have to do. Last episode, we talked about respectability politics, and that's something that he goes about in the book too. You have some people, he's a Howard grad. He went to school with some people at Howard who kind of did everything right. They worked hard. They worked twice as hard. They moved out the suburbs. They sent their kid to college, were able to pay for all this stuff, and their son still got killed by the police. So that's what I'm saying. It's, at the end of the day, you're still a black man in this country. And that's one thing that he really goes over in this book, and it's a really good read, especially for somebody who, if I was to ever pass down or ever write anything, it would to my son, it would be in that format, kind of just highlighting what I'm going through now and highlighting comparing that to what you're going through now, and kind of an uplifting book to keep moving, keep pushing, keep pushing through the struggle essentially. So really salute to him. I think there's also a movie version of the book too. So if y'all haven't read the book, I definitely recommend checking out the book or even watching that movie.
Yep. Shout out to Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Damn, that's smooth.